In the era of Satyug, dwelled an asur named Tarak, who performed extreme tap for hundreds of years. Every 100 years, he would make his tapasya more difficult. For the first 100 years, he survived on water, and later, he merely survived on air. Impressed by the extreme austerities, Bhagwan Brahma appeared before Tarakasur to bless him. I am pleased by your devotion and tap. What boon do you seek? Tell me, and you shall be bestowed, said the Creator. Tarakasur seized the opportunity and asked for 2 boons. If you are pleased, O Dev, then I request you not to create anyone stronger than me, and if my death must come, it shall be from the son of Mahadev. Tarakasur thought, since Mahadev is Adi Yogi, it is impossible for him to produce a son. Hence, this boon would make him invincible and practically immortal. Brahmadev blessed the Asur, thus making him the most powerful Asur, and upon his return to Patal Lok, all the Danavs made him the king. As per the boon, no other being could match his power, and Tarakasur fearlessly attacked Swarglok with his well-trained army. And it was in this battle that Bhagwan Indra took the help of Raja Muchukund by appointing him as the commander of the army. The Raja was given this charge until the arrival of the young commander. Meanwhile, Bhagwan Shiv had married Mata Parvati. They were enjoying their conjugal bliss, and during one such moment, the vital fluid of Mahadev fell on earth, and this troubled Bhagwan Vishnu, for the heat of Mahadev could engulf the earth. Bhagwan Vishnu and Bhagwan Brahma instructed Agni Dev to find a way to stop this. Disguised as a hermit, Bhagwan Agni went to Kailash mountain, the home of Mata Parvati and Mahadev. Upon reaching, he started begging for alms. Hey Devi, please give me something to eat. My hands are my begging bowl. Please fill it with something to eat. Devi Parvati was enjoying her time with Shiv and was annoyed by this disturbance. She placed the life seed of Mahadev on his hands, which was then eaten by the hermit. Furious with the actions of the hermit, Mata cursed him. You have disrespected me by eating the seed of life. I curse you to become omnivorous, and the life that you have devoured shall cause unbearable heat in your body. The curse immediately took a toll, and Agni Dev took his true form. Experiencing extreme heat, Agni Dev requested Maheshwar to end the suffering. Taking pity on Agni Dev, Bholenath advised him, place that seed in the womb of a woman and you will be freed. Agni Dev, suffering from the heat, waited in the chilly parts of the mountain. Luckily, he did not have to wait long. 6 Kritikas were making their way in the snow-covered mountains. They were freezing and were looking for some warmth. Agni Dev took the opportunity to release the seed that seeped into the pores of the 6 Kritikas, Shiva, Sambhuti, Preeti, Sannati, Anasuya, and Shama, hence making them the bearer of the child. The 6 Kritikas released their developing seed at the foot of the Himalayas before transforming into the constellation called Taurus. The developing seed was taken to a safe place by the river Ganga, which was covered with reeds and dense bushes. At last the son was born. Everyone in heaven was happy, and since he was carried by the Kritikas, the gods named him Kartikeya. He was born on Falgun Shukla Shashti, which is celebrated every year as Skanda Shashti. Bhagwan Shiv and Ma Parvati received Kartikeya joyfully. The son of Shiv grew strong and big within days. He was intelligent, full of valor, and held excellent finesse in fighting. Mata Parvati was overjoyed to have a son, and she started spending time with little Kumar, and moreover, She became a true mother. One evening, when Mata and Kumar were playing, they were visited by worried gods and Gandharvas. Devraj Indra spoke to Mata Parvati. Hey Ma, we know you are overjoyed to have a son. We too are flowing with happiness. Mata, the birth of Kumar was written so he could lead the celestial army and fight the demons. Hey Devi, we request you to strengthen our army by sending your brave son to lead us to victory. Aware of the situation, Devi Parvati agreed and arranged for a grand ceremony to send her son off to war, in which Brahmadev himself performed the rituals. Maheshwar anointed Kartikeya with holy water and declared him the commander of the gods' army. Many gods and deities presented their powerful gifts. The sun god gave a chariot holding the speed faster than that of lightning. Bhagwan Yam gave him the dand, and above all, Mata Parvati gave him the veil. The fearless 7 days old commander filled the entire army of gods with hope and valor. They marched to the battlefield with the hunger to win. On the battlefield, Kartikeya took the charge from Raja Muchukund. The battle went on for days, and in the course of action, many Asurs were crushed to death. On the 6th day of the battle, Surapadma, the brother of Tarakasur, made the mistake of challenging Kumar, but he soon realized his mistakes and transformed himself into a tree. As Kumar came near the tree with an intention to destroy it, Surapadma spoke. O Dev Senapati, I have realized my mistake. I have wasted my life by committing many sins. I request you to keep me by your side so I can achieve my salvation. Kartikeya agreed to Surapadma's wish and slashed the tree into two. One half became a rooster called Krichi, symbolizing the good, and the other half became a peacock, Parvani, that denoted evil. Parvani became the vehicle of Kumar as it symbolized the win of good over evil. The day that Kartikeya slayed Surapadma is observed as Sur Samharan festival in South India. On the 7th day, Kartikeya challenged Tarakasur. An intense battle erupted between Kartikeya and Tarak. The fight went on for hours, but eventually Murugan was knocked unconscious. The Devs who were fighting by his side took him away from the field. Kartikeya went back into the battlefield as soon as he gained consciousness, and finally used the veil at his enemy, Tarakasur, killing him instantly. When the news of Tarkasur's death fell on the ears of the Asurs, they all started fleeing from the battlefield. Kartikeya's triumph restored peace in the high heaven and earth. This unmatched valor of the young commander earned him the name of Dev Senapati, which translates to the god of war.
In the last episode of Lanka before Ravan, we saw that tormented by the atrocities of the sons of Sukesh, Devtas went to the refuge of Vishnuji and pleaded. How did Vishnuji find a solution to this problem at the right time? We will know about that in today's story. Some more days passed by. Sukesh had died, and his elder son Malyavan was now sitting on the throne of Lanka. When he came to know that the Devtas and Rishis had plotted the demise of himself and his lineage with the help of Bhagwan Vishnu, he was enraged. He called his brothers and said,
"To kill us! The Devtas have plotted against us with the killer of Hiranyakashyap, Namuchi, Kalnemi. He is the enemy of the Asurs. These great Asur warriors were adept in all kinds of weapons and arts of war, and yet they could not win against him. Therefore, I want to talk to both of you regarding our protection from Vishnu."
Listening to their brother, Mali and Somali answered,
"Brother, we have no animosity with Vishnu. He just wants to kill us because of the Devtas. So when Vishnuji will come, we will see. But for now, it is important to punish these Devtas who are plotting against us. Hence, it is our decision that we should immediately attack Indralok and completely wipe off their existence.
Accepting his brother's advice, Malyavan prepared his colossal Asur army and marched towards Swargalok. All the terrifying Rakshasas started towards Devlok on different vehicles like Asur lions, horses, bears, donkeys, huge snakes, camels, etc. Even nature was shaking with fear looking at this colossal army of the Asurs. Blood and bones were raining from the clouds. All creatures were cackling with laughter in a terrifying way, and the oceans were crossing their boundaries. When hundreds of Asur soldiers reached the gates of Devlok, half the army of Devtas fled away. Ornamented with fire all around their bodies, Malyavan, Mali, and Sumali were overjoyed to see this and entered Devlok with great enthusiasm. The army of Devtas was being defeated from all sides. Even Devraj Indra was powerless in front of the infinite power of the sons of Sukesh. At this moment, there was a shadow of huge wings over the Rakshasas' army. Strong winds started blowing, with which the Mayavi Asurs were carried here and there. When the sons of Sukesh looked up, they realized Pitambar Dhari, Chaturbhuj, Bhagwan Vishnu was hovering above them on his Garud like Death himself. The Rakshasas had sinned enough. Their doom was near now. Due to the fast wings of Garud, the flags of the Rakshas army were in tatters. Mighty Asur warriors were thrown here and there. Seeing this, Mali was enraged and attacked Garud with his Gada. Now the war had begun. Bhagwan Sri Hari blew the Panchajanya to mark its beginning. Rakshasas started showering arrows on Bhagwan Vishnu from all sides. Just as the ants crowd near a sugar particle, the Asurs were attacking Vishnuji from all sides. Full of wrath, Bhagwan picked up his sarang bow and started attacking the Rakshasas with his Vajra-like arrows. In a moment, lakhs of Rakshasas were slayed. Seeing the destruction of his own army, Somali, who was sitting on a chariot, came in front of Bhagwan Vishnu. But Prabhu broke his bow with a single arrow and slayed his charioteer with another arrow. Without a charioteer, his chariot went haywire, and Somali lost his balance and fell off. On seeing his brother in danger, Mali went there to save him and started showering arrows on Narayan. When the Rakshas army saw Vishnuji struggling a little bit with Mali's attack, their confidence increased. But this happiness did not last long. Garud roared loudly and started running towards Mali with Vishnuji on his back to take revenge for Mali's first attack on him. Now, without any delay, Sri Hari called upon his Sudarshan Chakra, which separated Mali's head from his body in a moment. After Mali's death, there was utter chaos in the Rakshas army. Malyavan and Somali started advancing towards Vishnuji to avenge their brother's death. Bhagwan Vishnu was destroying Asurs like Kal Bhairav. After Mali, Sudarshan Chakra had killed hundreds of Rakshasas. Unable to face the wrath of Garud, the Rakshas army fled. With the Rakshas army retreating, Somali also retreated. Now came Lanka Naresh Malyavan in front of Bhagwan Vishnu in the battlefield. He used a Shakti Ban on Kamal Nayan Padmanabh, which directly hit his chest. But Vishnuji took it out from his chest and attacked Malyavan with it. In this way, his own power fell on his heart like Vajra. His armor was broken, and for a moment, Lanka Naresh lost his senses. But he regained his composure the next moment and attacked Narayan with a weapon embedded with spikes. After fighting for some time like this, Malyavan, both angered and worried, attacked Garud with the same weapon of spikes. Enraged, Garud threw him away with the wind created by his wings. At this moment, both the brothers realized that it was impossible for them to win against Bhagwan Sri Hari. So both of them fled from the battlefield with their remaining army and sons. They left Lanka and hid in Patal Lok to protect their lives. Thus, the throne of Lanka was once again empty after Malyavan left. Soon, a new kingdom was going to be established in the empty city of Lanka. Vaishravan Kuber, the grandson of Pulastya Rishi, was going to arrive there. Janmejay's Nag Yagya. In Janmejay's Nag Yagya series, so far you have learned how Janmejay was cursed by Sarma bitch and how Janmejay found his priest Somshrava. The meeting of Uttank and Janmejay, Uttank's hatred for Takshak, and the death of Parikshit. The last link of all these will be seen connected with the Nag Yagya of Janmejay. All these incidents were slowly giving rise to a big event. Let's start the last episode of this series. When Uttank reached Janmejay, Janmejay wanted to know the cause of his father's death. Uttank placed the entire story in detail in front of Janmejay. Uttank and Takshak already had enmity, but as soon as Janmejay came to know about the cause of his father's death, Janmejay too started hating Takshak. The enemy of an enemy is a friend, so Janmejay, following the advice of Uttank, made up the idea of performing Nag Yagya. When all the preparations for the Nag Yagya were over, its splendor was worth seeing. The Nag Yagya of Janmejay was being decorated like the 100 sacrifices of Indra and King Puru. All Brahmins, priests, and kings participated in this Yagya. Then, Astik Muni reached there with the aim of protecting the lives of his family members. As he tried to proceed towards the Yagya Mandap, the gatekeeper stopped him. Seeing such an opportunity, the sage started praising the glory of Yagya and Janmejay. Hearing such praise of his deeds, Janmejay and others present there were very happy, and Janmejay said to his companions, "This child is small in age, but in knowledge he is like an old man full of wisdom. I want to give him a boon. Please give consent to this idea." All the people present said, "There is nothing wrong in giving a boon to a wise Brahmin, but first of all we should complete our task of bringing Takshak Nag to the Yajna." After which Janmejay started the sacrifice of the name of Takshak Nag. Then he was told that Takshak Nag is hiding in Indra's house and is protected by Indra. Then King Janmejay started the sacrifice to bring Takshak along with Indra. Indra could not go against the powers of the Yagya and started moving towards the Yajna from the sky. Takshak, also being in his clothes, started moving towards the Yajna. Seeing this, Janmejay ordered, "O Brahmins, this Takshak is hidden in the Viman of Indra, so you should drop it along with the Viman in this sacrifice." Hearing this, Indra became frightened and immediately left Takshak and ran away from his Viman and went towards his house, due to which Takshak started moving near the fire of Yagya. Seeing the Yagya going on the right path, the Brahmins asked Janmejay to give a boon to the Astik Muni. After which, Janmejay said to the believer, "O child, I am very pleased with you. You can ask for any boon from me. Even if your wish is not worth giving, I will give it." As soon as the believer saw Takshak coming very near to the Yajna, he asked for a boon after getting the right opportunity. "Rajan, if you want to give me a boon, then I ask for the boon that this yajna should stop and no snake shall fall in the yajna." Hearing this, Janmejai got upset and refused and asked Astik to ask for some other boon. But Astik did not wish for any other boon. By this time, many serpents except Takshak had fallen in the yajna, and the people present felt it appropriate that the wish of a Brahmin should be accepted. Astik Muni had stopped Takshak in the sky itself, so that he could not move towards the yajna. Seeing this, Janmejai got worried. Janmejai had to respect the views of the people present in the yajna. At the same time, Somshrava, the priest of Janmejai, put up the condition that he must fulfill the boon asked by the Brahmin. Thus, Janmejai gave Astik Muni the boon and ended the yajna. After giving the boon, Janmejai said to Astik Muni, "Brahman, you must attend my upcoming Ashwamedha yajna." Astik Muni promised him and returned to his maternal uncle and mother. After listening to all the stories, the serpents were very happy and asked Astik Muni to ask for a boon. To which the Muni said, "Whoever recites this story of mine, he should not have any fear from the serpents." After getting such a boon for saving the serpents, Astik Muni got married after some time and finally attained salvation. This is how Janmejai's Nag Yagya ended. Hope you've got the answer to all your questions. Stay connected with us for more such informative stories. Lesson: a person moving towards his goals achieves it on the basis of his good deeds and hard work. If you're determined to achieve your goal, then no task will be difficult for you. Astik Muni also achieved his goal by reversing the predetermined destiny with the right opportunity and his intelligence. Of Astik Muni. Till now we know about Janmejai and all the aspects related to him. But it is very natural to be curious about what efforts were made by the serpents to stop the Nagya. The serpents were already aware of their destiny after receiving a curse from their mother. But we will discuss how destiny can be changed through actions. One day, the celibate sage Jaratkaru was leaving a place. There he saw that some people were hanging in a huge pit with their feet up and grabbing a bunch of straws, and those straws were being eaten by the rats living in the pit from almost all sides. Jaratkaru asked, "Why are you in such a condition?" The ancestors replied, "We want to fall on the earth because of the destruction of our lineage. We have a child named Jaratkaru alive, but he has vowed celibacy. Due to the destruction of the lineage, we are hanging in this pit." Jaratkaru introduced himself to the ancestors and agreed to the marriage on the condition that he would marry only if someone arranged his marriage as alms to a girl with the same name as Jaratkaru. By giving promises to his ancestors, Jaratkaru started looking everywhere to get a wife, but he was unsuccessful. One day, sitting in the forest, Jaratkaru cried out, "Someone give me a girl as alms!" At the same time, Nagraj Vasuki came there with his sister and said, "My sister's name is Jaratkaru. I want to give her to you as alms. Please receive her." Jaratkaru did not agree to the marriage immediately and put his conditions. "I will not provide for your sister. Also, if your sister does anything which I find unpleasant, then I will give her up immediately." Vasuki accepted both the conditions and got them married. Vasuki arranged for the residence of both of them in his own place and started taking care of his sister himself. Vasuki's sister also engaged herself in the service of Jaratkaru without doing anything unpleasant. As the days passed, Vasuki's sister conceived. One day, Jaratkaru fell asleep lying on his wife's lap. When the evening came, Vasuki's sister got caught up in a problem. She wondered if she should disturb her husband's sleep as it is evening or give importance to sleep and let him sleep. Finally, Vasuki's sister woke up Jaratkaru. Upon being woken up, Jaratkaru said in anger, "The sun does not have enough power to set while I sleep, so you have insulted me by disturbing my sleep. That's why I give up on you." Vasuki's sister told the whole story to Vasuki. Vasuki and his sister knew that only her and Jaratkaru's children would protect the snakes from Janmejai's Nag Yagya. After this, when the time came, Vasuki's sister gave birth to a Divya Kumar. Since Jaratkaru had gone into the forest by saying Asti on asking about the womb, his child was named Astik. Vasuki's sister told Astik the purpose of his birth. When Astik grew up and the time of Janmejai's Nag Yagya was approaching, Astik went to stop the Nag Yagya. But how did Astik get entry in the Nag Yagya field even after the security of Janmejai's Nag Yagya was so strong? How did Astik stop this Yagya? Could all the serpents be saved from this Yagya? You will get the answer to all such questions in the last episode of Janmejai Ka Nag Yagya. Till then, stay connected with us and enjoy tales full of knowledge only on Sutradhar. Lesson: man's actions decide destiny. If due to some reason your destiny is moving towards the wrong path, then you can change the path of that destiny by doing good deeds. Even after the serpents were cursed by their mother to be consumed in the yajna, some serpents challenged their destiny on the strength of their good deeds and succeeded in saving their lives. Raja Parikshit. In the previous episode of Janmejai Ka Nag Yagya, we saw how Janmejai met Uttank and why Uttank had hatred for Takshak. But the first question that arises is, who gave such a curse to Raja Parikshit, due to which he became a victim of Takshak's bite and died? In this issue, we will discuss the story of Raja Parikshit and know the reason for Parikshit's death. One day, Raja Parikshit, while hunting, injured a deer in the forest with an arrow, but the animal escaped from Parikshit. Following the deer, Raja Parikshit came near Shamik Muni in the same forest. By that time, Raja was hungry, thirsty, and tired. Parikshit asked the Rishi, "O Brahman, I am Raja Parikshit, son of Abhimanyu. I have injured a deer, but I cannot find it anywhere. Have you seen it?" Shamik Muni was observing a fast of silence, so he did not answer Parikshit and was absorbed in his penance. Parikshit got angry and picked up a dead snake, killed from his bow, and placed it on the sage's shoulder. But still the sage did not react. Seeing this, Parikshit repented, and Shamik Muni's son's name was Shringi. He was a great ascetic, but he was very short-tempered. That day, when he was returning to his home, he found his friend Rishi Kumar Krish. Krish laughed and said, "Shringi, you act like you are a great ascetic, but your father is carrying a dead snake on his shoulder. I was very upset at this sight, but you are watching all this silently." Shringi expressed a desire to know the full story from Krish. After knowing everything, Shringi asked, "What crime did my father commit that he had to go through all this?" Krish answered all Shringi's doubts. Because of this, Shringi became furious and said, The sinful Raja who has insulted the Brahmins by placing a death snake on my old father will be sent to Yamlok after 7 nights from today by a very venomous snake." After saying this, when Shringi told his father about the curse, Rishi was not happy, as he knew that Parikshit had committed this act out of ignorance. Therefore, he told Shringi to perform penance till he had attained control over his senses, and asked his disciple Gaumukh to convey the information of this curse to Raja Parikshit. After receiving the message of Gaumukh, Parikshit held a secret meeting with his ministers and built a high palace with only one pillar. The building was safe from all sides. The Raja made all arrangements for protection there, collected all kinds of medicines, and appointed Vaidyas and learned Brahmins everywhere. On the 7th day, Kashyap, a scholar of mantras, was going to come for Parikshit's treatment. Kashyap had planned that instead of saving Parikshit's life, he was going to treat him so he could get both money and religious fruits. On his way to the palace, Kashyap found Takshak. Takshak asked, "Where are you going in such a hurry?" Kashyap replied, "Today, Nagraj Takshak will bite Raja Parikshit, so I am going to keep him alive by removing poison." Takshak introduced himself and said to Kashyap, who was adamant to protect the Raja, "If it is so, then first cure this tree. After I sting it." Takshak destroyed a banyan tree and Kashyap restored that tree. After this, Takshak asked Kashyap, "Oh Kashyap, for what purpose are you going there? Whatever you want, tell me. If I am able, I will fulfill it here so that you can return from here." Kashyap replied, "I am going there for money. If you give it to me, I will return." Takshak returned Kashyap with more money than Parikshit could have given. Takshak went to Hastinapur, and with the help of Maya, he made some serpents in the form of ascetics and sent them to Raja with fruits. Takshak himself was sitting on the fruit in the form of an insect that Raja Parikshit picked up to eat. The ministers immediately removed that insect, but out of ego, Parikshit pretended the insect was Takshak and asked it to bite him. Raja did this in order to see if the curse was true. As soon as the insect was placed on Parikshit's shoulder, Parikshit, influenced by Kal, started laughing out loud. But then, Takshak expanded his form and caught Parikshit and bit him. How did Janmejai come to know about this mystery after the death of Raja Parikshit? How did the serpents save their lives from this Nag Yajna? Stay connected with us to know the answers to these questions. Lesson: the consequences of action done out of ego can prove to be very disastrous. Raja Parikshit got cursed because of his ego, and as soon as he came to know that the sage's curse was proved to be untrue, in the same way, Kal took over his intellect and he died. Uttank Rishi and Takshak. In the previous episode of Janmejai's Nag Yajna, we learned how Janmejai was cursed by Sarma and how Janmejai discovered his priest. In today's episode, we will see how Janmejai got the inspiration to perform Nag Yajna and how Uttank got jealous of Takshak. Maharshi Ayodhyaumya had 3 disciples: Upamanyu, Aruni Panchala, and Veda. Rishi Veda did a lot of service following the orders of his guru Ayodhyaumya, as a result of which he graduated and returned from the Guru Griha. Acharya Veda used to have 3 disciples after coming back to his home. He had never made his disciples do any work which he had done in his student days. Janmejay and Paushya made Acharya Veda their priest. One day, Acharya Veda had to go out for some after the house and refill anything that is lacking in my house. One day, the women living in the ashram said to Uttank, "Take some measures so that Guru Mata's Ritu Kal does not fail in the absence of Acharya Veda." Uttank replied, "The master has not asked me to perform such a task, so I am not at all going to be helpful in this work." When Acharya returned to the Ved ashram, he came to know about the story of Uttank, due to which he was very pleased and said, "Vats, you have served me righteously, so now I allow you to return to your home. May all your wishes be fulfilled." To this Uttank said, "Guruvar, I want to offer you Guru Dakshina." Hearing this, Acharya Veda asked Uttank to spend a few more days in the Guru's ashram. After a few days, Uttank again spoke of Guru Dakshina, in response to which Acharya Veda said, "Vats, go inside this house and ask your Guru Mata. Whatever she says, give it to her. That will be your Guru Dakshina." When Uttank went inside the house and asked Guru Mata, she said, "Vats, bring the kundals worn by Raja Paushya's wife. 4 days from today, I want to wear those same kundals for the Punyak Vrat. Now go and fulfill my wish." Uttank left on the orders of Guru Mata. On his way, he found a bull and a man. The man said to Uttank, "You should eat the dung of this bull. Your Guru did the same thing, so don't hesitate at all." After listening to the man, Uttank hurriedly consumed cow dung and urine and left from there. Reaching the palace of Raja Paushya, Uttank said, "O Raja, I have come to collect your wife's kundal as Guru Dakshina to my Guru Mata." In response, Raja Paushya said, "Hey Brahman, my wife is inside. You can go and ask her for the kundals." When Uttank went inside and saw no one there, Uttank asked Paushya the reason for this. Paushya said, "Your mouth must be unclean. My wife being chaste cannot be seen by a man whose mouth is unclean." On this, Uttank remembered the act done in haste, and so he washed his hands and face thoroughly. While sitting on the seat, anointed water and completely purified himself and entered again. When Uttank asked the queen for her earrings, the queen gave them to him without any hesitation and said, "Brahman, Nagraj Takshak is trying to get these earrings, so you must take them carefully." Hearing the words of the queen, Uttank left from there. As soon as Uttank left, Takshak started chasing him. After going some distance, Uttank placed those earrings on the bank of a pond and started performing water-related work. In the meantime, Takshak picked up the earrings and went to Naglok. Uttank followed Takshak till Naglok. To get to Takshak, Uttank started to praise the serpents in Naglok, but he did not get anything. But then he saw 2 women who were weaving white and black yarn on a loom, a wheel of 12 arrows which the 6 Kumars were rotating continuously. A man and a horse appeared. Uttank asked the man for some solution to bring out Takshak. The man gave him the solution that Takshak can be brought out from the smoke coming out from the horse's mouth. Takshak came out due to the smoke and returned the kundals to Uttank, and Uttank returned to the ashram of Acharya Veda sitting on the same horse. Uttank told his guru the story of his departure from the ashram and that of Naglok. After listening to his account, Acharya Veda said, "The men you met with the bull were Indra and Airavat themselves, and the dung that you ate was Amrit that saved you in Naglok. The two women seen in Naglok are Data and Vidhata. White and black fibers are day and night. The 12 arrows are 12 months, and the 6 Kumars are the 6 seasons. The man who met you in Naglok was Indra, and that horse is Agni. After this, Acharya Veda ordered Uttang to go, but Uttang got angry with Takshak and went towards Hastinapur, where he met Janmejai. Uttang said to Janmejai, "O Raja, Nagraj Takshak has killed your father Raja Parikshit, so you must take revenge from that evil spirit and perform a Nag Yagya." What secret did Uttang tell to Janmejai that inspired Janmejai to perform Nag Yagya? What was the relationship between Raja Parikshit and Takshak? You will get the answer to these questions in the coming episode. Lesson: Goswami Tulsidas writes in Ramcharitmanas that Guru Pitu Matu Swami Hit Bani Suni Man Mudit Kariya Bhali Jani. That is, teachers, father, mother, friends are your true well-wishers. Their words should be accepted without any doubt. Uttang obtained nectar from Indra following the orders of his guru, and that is why he did not die even in Naglok. Janmejai and Somshrava. Mahabharat, a unique chronicle fought between Kauravas and Pandavas. But what happened to the Kuru dynasty after the Pandavas? This is a question that will be of interest to many. Arjun's son was Abhimanyu, and Abhimanyu's son was Parikshit. Parikshit had 4 sons: Janmejai, Shrutasen, Ugrasen, and Bhimsen. Due to the incident with Shamik Rishi, his son Shringi Rishi cursed Parikshit, after which Parikshit died due to the bite of Takshak Nag. When Janmejai came to know about this story, he made up his mind to perform Nag Yagya, in which all the serpents were to be sacrificed. The reason for this condition of the serpents was the curse of their mother itself. As we know the story of Mahabharat, the story was narrated by Rishi Vaishampayan to all present during the Nag Yagya of Janmejai. But to know how the story started and what was the conclusion of this story, one has to turn the pages of this story closely. Parikshit's 4 sons, Janmejai, Shrutasen, Ugrasen, and Bhimsen, used to perform long-term yagyas in Kurukshetra. One day, Sarmeya, the son of Sarma, the bitch of the gods, came there. When Janmejai's brothers beat the dog, Sarmeya went to his mother crying. When her mother asked the reason for her crying, he told the whole story. To this, Sarma said, "Son, you must have harmed them. That's why they beat you." Sarmeya replied, "No, mother, I have not harmed them in any way." Hearing the pain of her son, Sarma went to the place of Yagya where Janmejai was performing the rituals with his brothers. Sarma asked Janmejai the reason for beating her son, but no one answered her. Sarma then cursed him and said, "Since you beat up my innocent son, you will suddenly be inflicted with tremendous fear, which will have no way out." Hearing this, Janmejai became very sad and started searching for a priest to pacify this curse. One day, while hunting, Janmejai saw the ashram of Shrutshrawa Rishi in the forest. Somshrava, the son of Shrutshrawa Rishi, was always absorbed in penance. Therefore, Janmejay requested Shrutashrava to make Somshrava his priest. After listening to the request of Janmejay, Shrutashrava replied, O Raja, Somshrava is born from the womb of a servant and is capable of removing all the curses except the curse of Bhagwan Shankar. But if a Brahmin asks anything from him, he fulfills the request. Keeping this behavior in mind, you can make him your priest. Following the orders of Shrutashrava Rishi, Janmejay took Somshrava with him. Somshrava was appointed by Janmejay as his priest, and he devised a method to avoid the curse of Sarma and to continue with the rituals of Nag Yajna. But how did Janmejay came to know the truth of his father's death? Was there enmity between Uttank Rishi and Takshak? Why did Parikshit get cursed with Takshak's bite? To answer all such questions, wait for the remaining episodes of Janmejay Ka Nag Yajna series and enjoy it while gaining knowledge from this series. Lesson. From this story, we understand that whether it is human or any animal, we have to bear the ill effects of causing pain to any living being present in the world without any purpose. Exactly the same thing happened with the brothers of Janmejay. Sarma cursed the brothers of Janmejay due to the ill effects of the violence done with Sarma's son, Sarmeya, and bearing the same curse, Janmejay had to make Somshrava's priest, and in the end, due to this, there was a disturbance in the Nag Yajna.
Once during the Pandavs' exile, Yudhishthir met Markandeya Rishi. Yudhishthir got emotional after meeting the Rishi and said, O great sage, I am not worried about the pain I have caused to myself and my brothers. However, what Draupadi has to go through makes me sad. She had to get humiliated in front of the entire royal assembly of Hastinapur. Later, Jayadratha tried to abduct her. Have you ever heard of another pious woman like Draupadi, who had to go through so much pain and hardship in her life? It is then the great sage Markandeya narrated this story of Princess Savitri to Yudhishthir. In ancient times, there was a king named Ashwapati who used to rule over the Madra kingdom. Ashwapati was a very just and fair king who was loved by his subjects. Everything was going well in his kingdom. Still, the king was always worried, for he did not have any children. With this desire in mind, the king prayed to Mata Gayatri for 18 years and conducted 1,000 yajnas in her worship. In the end, Mata Gayatri appeared in front of the king and offered him a boon. King Ashwapati greeted the Devi with folded hands and said, O Mother of the whole universe, I wish to have a son who is virtuous, so that he can inherit my kingdom after me. Mata Gayatri said, O sage among kings, I know your desire in advance. Hence I had consulted with the Father of the universe, Brahmadev, before appearing in front of you. It is with his blessings I grant you a daughter. The king accepted the blessings of Brahmadev and Mata Gayatri and said, As you wish, O mother. In time, Queen Malvi gave birth to a beautiful daughter. Honoring Mata Gayatri, the king named his daughter Savitri. Savitri was no less than a goddess in beauty and virtues. When Savitri grew older and became of marriageable age, the king started looking for a suitable groom. However, the king was unable to find a groom who could match his daughter in virtues and appearance. In the end, he called Savitri and said, Daughter, you are now of the right age to marry. And as your father, it is my duty to make sure I find a suitable groom for you and conduct your wedding with proper Vedic rituals. Despite all my efforts, I have failed to find a man who can match you in your qualities. It is my wish now that you visit the wise sages in our kingdom and with their help find a suitable man for yourself. You have my blessings." Respecting her father's wish, Princess Savitri went to the jungle and started spending time with the sages in their hermitage. She started searching for a suitable husband under their guidance. One day, Devarshi Narad was visiting King Ashwapati. When Devarshi Narad was having a conversation with the king, Savitri entered the royal court. The king was extremely pleased to see his daughter return. Savitri sought the blessings of the sage among gods and then greeted her father. Savitri said, "Father, as you suggested, I have found the right man to marry. You please start preparing for the wedding." A happy and curious Ashwapati asked Savitri to tell every detail. Savitri said, "King of Shalv, Dyumatsen became blind due to some illness. Taking advantage of his misfortune, his enemies attacked his kingdom, and the king had to flee along with his wife and newborn son. That son, who was born in a palace but raised in a hermitage, is now an adult. He is handsome and virtuous. I have chosen him to be my husband." Narad Muni, who was listening to this conversation, got worried and said, "O king, the man your daughter has chosen is Satyavan. He is really virtuous and righteous. However, there is one problem because of which I don't think your daughter should marry him." Looking at the king's curious eyes, Devarshi Narad continued, "King Dyumatsen's son will not live long. Exactly 1 year from today, Satyavan will meet his death." Hearing these words from Narad Muni, the king requested his daughter to forget about marrying Satyavan and look for another groom. However, Savitri said, "Father, in my mind I have already decided Satyavan to be my husband. Marrying anyone else now is out of the question. It is also not right. I request you to start preparations for our wedding." Hearing these words from Savitri, Narad Muni said, "O king, your daughter is right. You should wed your daughter as per her wish without any worry. I bless this union." King Ashwapati approached King Dyumatsen in his hermitage and proposed Savitri's marriage to his son Satyavan. With the blessings of both parents, the wedding happened as per Vedic rituals. After the wedding, Savitri denounced all the royal possessions and started living in her hermitage with her husband and in-laws. However, she never forgot the words of Narad Muni. She kept counting days. 4 days before the fateful day, Savitri started fasting and praying to gods. She did not eat or drink anything for these 4 days. On the fateful day when Satyavan decided to head to the forest to pick some fruits and wood, Savitri insisted on accompanying him. For the first time since her wedding, Savitri had expressed some desire, so her in-laws insisted that Satyavan fulfill her simple wish and take her with him. Throughout the way, Savitri kept remembering the words of Narad Muni. Suddenly, Satyavan started sweating and felt very weak. He came to Savitri and said, "Savitri, I am feeling very tired and cannot even stand. I think I should rest for a while." Satyavan rested his head on Savitri's lap and fell asleep. In a moment, his body became colorless, and Savitri noticed a heavy-set man dressed in red and holding a noose in his hand, standing in front of them. Savitri said, "Looking at your divine appearance, I have no doubt that you are a god. I request you to introduce yourself and let me know what you desire coming here." Yamraj replied, "I am Yam. Your husband's time on earth has come to an end. Hence I have come to carry him with me." After saying these words, Yam tied Satyavan's soul to his noose and started going away. Savitri started following him, Noticing Savitri coming after him, Yamdev stopped and said,
Go back, Savitri. Go and perform the last rites of your husband.
Hearing Yamraj's words, Savitri said, O God of death, according to dharma, wherever my husband goes, I am supposed to follow. Yamraj said,
Don't be stubborn, Savitri. Ask me for a boon except for your husband's life and go back.
Savitri said, O Dharmaraj, if you want to offer me a boon, then please make sure my father-in-law can see again. Make him powerful and able, as he was before he lost his eyesight. Yamraj said,
So be it,
and started walking again. In a while, he turned back to see that Savitri was still there. Savitri said to Yamraj, Only truly blessed ones get to experience the company of gods. Any conversation with gods is a blessing. I cannot forego this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Yam asked Savitri to ask for another boon except for the life of her husband. Savitri asked for her father-in-law to regain his lost kingdom. Yam said,
As you wish,
and moved on. Savitri continued to follow Yam and said, You carry people out of this world against their wishes. However, in this world, showing kindness to others is the biggest virtue. You should also show kindness to me. Hearing these words from Savitri, Yamraj said,
Savitri, I am very pleased with your words. You can ask for one more boon, but please know that I will not spare the life of your husband.
Savitri said, O son of Vivaswan, my parents do not have any sons. Please bless them with 100 sons who can carry their legacy forward. Yam said,
Your mother Malvi will give birth to 100 illustrious sons of your father. Now stop being stubborn and return to your in-laws. They need you the most in this time of grief.
Savitri replied, I do not know how far I have come following you. I do not know if I will be able to go back now. I feel like the only option left to me right now is to keep following you. Yamraj smiled at Savitri's words and said,
Okay, ask me for one more boon. I can give you anything except for sparing the life of Satyavan. You have to go back this time though.
Savitri stood in front of the god of death with folded hands and said, O god of afterlife, I have experienced all the joys of life except motherhood. I have heard that being a mother is the supreme joy any woman can experience. Please give me a boon to become the mother of 100 illustrious sons. Yamraj said,
So be it,
and moved on. Savitri stopped him and said, Maharaj, I am a woman of virtue. You are taking away my husband. Without him, how do you think